Hello and welcome. It is 10 a.m. Eastern. It is 3 p.m. in the UK. It's Wednesday and it's time for a broadcast from me in Wiltshire in England. Beautiful day today. Sun is shining. And today's broadcast is understanding the recall factor for better live streaming. Now, every week when I'm doing this broadcast, I do my research, and the recall factor is getting people to remember you. That's basically what we're talking about. How can you broadcast so that people remember your broadcasts? And I've gone through a series of options, and we're going to walk through those today. So let's bring those on screen, and I'll add them to the stream and replace. And in a second, you've got them there, and we're going to bring up my agenda for today. Now, whenever you go live, please do have an agenda. Yeah, it makes life a lot easier because you know what you're going to be talking about. So, the agenda for today is the introduction, which I'm doing now. Then we're going to talk about branding, and then polls and quizzes. You want the shows to be interactive. People remember interaction. They remember quiz questions. They remember taking part in polls. Do make those part of your broadcast. Now, your words are brilliant, but the visuals help tell your story. And we've got visuals in this broadcast. You need videos as well and graphics, anything you can use to catch people's attention and something that will actually stick in their mind. So visuals, videos, slides and graphics. Chunking and repetition. Now, chunking and repetition, or chunking is important. If I just go here for a second, and I'm just going to go there and there. Okay, chunk and repetition are important. Repetition is particularly important. If you've got a topic, then you want to talk about it several times during your broadcast. If you've got a point to make, you make it several times during your broadcast. And put that full screen again as we go through the agenda. So if you're watching live, thank you. If you're watching the replay, thank you. And this is what's in today's show. So chunking and repetition, I'm going to mention repetition several times, obviously. Storytelling. Now, live video is all about storytelling. It's about telling your stories. That's what people come to hear. They come to hear you telling stories. And if you tell a story which is particularly memorable, then it stays in people's mind and they will recall it long after the live broadcast. And that's what you're after. You're after people remembering you from your broadcast and what you talked about during the broadcast. Now, basically, stories come in many forms, but personal ones are probably the best ones to actually tell. At weekends, I don't broadcast live on the desktop. I use my mobile phone, and here's my mobile phone, and I broadcast live from the phone at the places we visit. And we visit National Trust properties around the UK. We actually go out for a walk every weekend, as well as a park run. I'll come back to park run in a minute. And I take my phone with me and I record so that we've got memories of where we've been. And we visited Portsmouth. Now, Portsmouth is famous for the Royal Naval Dockyards, and that's where they have a collection of boats from around the world, including an ironclad boat, which was the first steamship, which unbelievably has a washing machine on board it. Also, HMS Victory, which took part in the Battle of Trafalgar, and then round the corner from that is the Murray Rose. Now, the Murray Rose is, it commissioned in the reign of Henry VIII, and it sank. And it was a warship, and it was rescued. It was brought up from the seabed and taken to the Portsmouth Royal Naval Dockyards, and it's been given its own building and it's being restored. Now, this is an ongoing process, will take a long time, but you can actually see the restoration in progress. You can see a boat from all those years ago. Ship, rather, not boat. Now, I decided that because this was a particular interesting visit, that I would go around with my mobile phone, with my gimbal, with my earbuds, and I would actually walk around and film, which is what I did. And we went around the start of the walk, and then we got to the HMS Victory, which is a magnificent ship. So I filmed that. I'm just going around the corner to the Murray Rose exhibition, and all of a sudden, my phone ran out of battery. I couldn't film anymore because I'd forgotten to take with me my power pack, my battery charger. And basically, I could not film anymore because the power pack. Now, when I'm live on Amazon, I always tell people, buy a power pack. You never know when you're going to need it. If I'd had it, I would be able to show you film of the Murray Rose. Because I don't, I can't. Okay, so that's the story. Hopefully you remember that we talked about HMS Victory, we talked about the Murray Rose, we talked about Henry VIII, we talked about Portsmouth Naval Dockyards, we talked about the Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra, and you made mention of basically having an external microphone as well. Now that's the example of a story. Stories help us to illustrate what we're talking about. So that's storytelling. Storytelling is part of the art of live broadcasting. And the more the more stories you tell, the more stories you can tell. Now, in terms of basically having a presence, you're broadcasting on 1 day a week. So we're going to talk about blogging. When you do a broadcast like I'm doing here, which is 45 minutes to an hour, that's once a week. How do people remember you for the rest of the week? Blog post. Directly after your broadcast, go to your blog, create a blog post, embed the video, and you can write more than you can actually say. Because the thing is, when you're actually broadcasting live, as I am now, there are things you're actually going to forget. You can include those in the blog post. Basically, that then gives the video a second life, because you can promote that blog post on Twitter, you can promote it on Facebook, you can talk about it whilst you're live. You can give extended life to every broadcast that you do. So rather than just being go live, forget it, it's go live and remember it. Now, I'm fortunate. Most of the live broadcasts that I do are evergreen. In other words, they're not topic, they're not about the news, and that means they have a life outside today. And a broadcast I did a few months ago will still have relevance. So back to our agenda, and we're going back to here. So blogging is important. I'll be talking about that later in today's broadcast. Mind maps, one of the best ways to actually get your story across and to get your main points across is to give people a mind map. Okay, mind map, brilliant way of actually categorizing any information. So it's memorable. So I could have done the as a mind map. Yeah, mind maps are useful in terms of people remembering. People remember pictures, they remember video, and they will remember mind maps, because you don't often see mind maps. So if you do mind map, make sure to put your agenda in the mind map and show that on screen as well. Now, the next one is repetition. I've mentioned it before. I'm going to say it again. Basically, when you're broadcasting live, don't be afraid to actually repeat yourself, to repeat what you're talking about. You can take the same segment and you can repeat it 2 or 3 times during the broadcast. The thing is that when we hear something, the first time we hear it, we take note of it. Second time, more so. By the time we've heard something 3 or 4 times, it's actually stuck. And once it's stuck, then it stays there. So repetition is your friend, especially in live broadcasting. You cannot, you don't over-egg it, don't repeat it every 5 minutes. But if you say something, repeat the same thing 3 or 4 times during your broadcast, people will remember it. And I want people to remember me for what I'm talking about. Okay, so To do that, I just need to repeat what I'm talking about. And I'm going to bring this back in just to remind everybody. Okay, and I'm going to add this to the stream and bring it on stream. Okay, so we are talking about recall factor, mastering live streaming, and why. Basically, the reason for doing all this is so that people remember you. That's the key thing. What we want people to do is to see your video and remember you. And all starts with branding. Okay, you'll notice on the top right hand, top left corner of the screen is a logo, the OneStream logo. I'm broadcasting here on behalf of OneStream Live. So I want people to associate all the videos they do with OneStream Live. Let's just take a look at how important this can be. And I'm just going to replace the media and we're going to switch screens and I'm going to put it full screen. In addition to the logo, every time I go live, there is a show card. Now, these are a selection of topics that I've talked about, interactive hacks to stop your live stream being boring, how to use AI tools in live broadcasting, extensions review. That is the OneStream Live extension, which is sat in my browser at the moment. Intros and outros. Now, intros and outros is an important part of your branding. You can put together intros and outros, which are reminders. So you can see every one of these images has got the OneStream Live logo on, and it's got me. Sell Out Your Event is about marketing. Healthcare goes live, and that was all about using live video in healthcare, including remote consultations. Hacks to hook listeners in podcasting, how to increase your podcast audience. Is influencer marketing dead? And the answer is no. And how to grow your live stream audience fast. Now, those were all topics that I've spoken about in the last 3 months on OneStream Live. And the thing that you'll notice about each of them is that they have a logo in the same place, top right. Mostly top right. They've got my image, and my image is pretty constant throughout. Then they have highlighted the title of the broadcast so people know what the broadcast is about. Those are the elements you want. You want identification, you want personalization, and you want the topic showing on screen. Now, all of those are evergreen topics, which ties into what I said earlier, because I'm repeating myself now, that I don't broadcast on topics of the moment. I broadcast about topics which are germane to all live broadcasters, not just today, but tomorrow and next month. So you can watch my broadcasts anytime. Certainly that's 3 months, because they're all pretty well bang up to date. So branding, logo, any video, put the logo on it. Any image you produce, put the logo on it. And it's all about this live video. Live video is about being personal. So wherever possible, you should include yourself as being part of the marketing. Yeah. You want people to be associated with OneStream Live. So everywhere I go, I've got the OneStream Live logo, which travels me. Branding. Branding is what you're trying to do. Basically, when you're going live, you want people to recognize you, an expert in your field. You want to get them to know, like, and trust you. And if you can show yourself on your marketing and branding, then people will get to know you. So branding is the first thing when it comes to recalling and remembering. The more people see you, the more they remember you. Yeah, and you remember the story about Portsmouth Dockyard? Hope so. So let's go back to our agenda again. Just show this for the last time. Consistency. You can see a consistent thread. You can see different colorways. You can see slightly different photographs, but you can see the OneStream Live logo on all those images. And apart from the one, it's there. They're all there. The one in the center The logo is there, but it's a bit lighter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to switch over now, and I'm going to come back to agenda and replace the media. And we're going to come back to me. And right, so what I'm going to do is we're going through the agenda, and just to remind ourselves, if I put this over here, yeah, we're going over here. We've done the introduction. Recall is remembering. You want people to remember you. You want people to remember your broadcast. You want people to remember what you are expert in. And branding with that. Okay, now, one of the things that helps with recall is actually asking people to do something during your live broadcast, not just to sit there, but to actually do something. There are two things you can use in a live broadcast to create interaction and to get people to enjoy themselves. First is quizzes. We love quizzes, and if you have quizzes which are about the topic you're talking about, you can bring them in. I love a place called Trivia Plaza, and I'll put a link to that down below afterwards. Trivia Plaza is a free quiz site, and you can ask for permission to use the quizzes in your broadcast, and there are 10 multiple choice questions on a range of topics, on music, on music, on video, on history, and you pick your quiz, and then you've got 10 questions. You show the questions on screen, followed by the answer. Show the questions on screen, followed by the answer, and you can generate interaction in that way. You can get people involved, and people remember. I broadcast on the Mondays. I broadcast with my good friend, sorry, on Tuesdays now. I broadcast Mondays rather. Yeah. I broadcast with my good friend Nick Wood, and we do a show on Amazon Live. We're both Amazon Live insiders, and we broadcast Amazon Live, and we have the Trivia Plaza movie quiz as part of the show. And that makes the show interactive because people actually stay to answer the questions and to see what the next question is. If you know there are going to be 10 questions, then you'll want to answer all of them. Some people do. So what we do is we're demonstrating product. What we do is we put a question on screen. One of the two of us will read it out. So I read the first question. I will read out the question. And whilst people are thinking, Nick will demonstrate product. Then we give the answer. And then Nick reads question 2. And I demonstrate a product. And we do the whole show like that. 60 minutes on Amazon Live. Basically marketing, but marketing with interest. And people come along for the marketing, the quiz. But basically, if you get something which people are interested in, they will come back. They will recall that there's a show. Now, the other thing is that you have to go out at a regular time. Now, Nick and I go out on Tuesdays at 4 o'clock in the UK, 11 a.m. Eastern. That's when we broadcast, and that's when people join us. So be consistent. If you want to be remembered, if you want to be recalled, be consistent in your broadcasting time and day. Yeah. If you do a scattergun approach and broadcast on different days, different times, people won't be able to find you. You want to be consistent. Okay. Back to the agenda, which is somewhere over here now. So, polls and quizzes. Not only can you have quizzes like the Trivia Plaza quiz, but you can conduct polls which are germane to the topic that you're talking about. Anything in relation to the topic gets people interested. People want to answer. And there are many websites out which will host polls for you for free. And you can put up your questions and you can watch and monitor the answers that come in now. In terms of polls during a live show, I would say maximum of 2. 1 will help move things forward. But basically, polls and quizzes can get your audience totally engaged in what you're talking about. That's the key, engagement. You want people to be engaged. The more engaged people are, the more they will recall you. So quizzes and polls are 2 ways of actually keeping people engaged in what you're doing. The next one is, it's brilliant just to appear on screen just with a camera. Nothing wrong in that. But if you want to be memorable, then you need to mix it up. And basically by mixing it up, by bringing in videos, okay, I've got videos, basically I can play anytime. By bringing in videos, by bringing in images, which I've been doing up till now, by bringing in text, by bringing in slides. Let's just go over to my video vault. I've got a video vault on OneStream, and basically if I go down here, I should be able to try and bring you in a video, and let's go here. And okay, I mentioned perhaps the OneStream Live extension. So I'm just going to show you this. This is about the OneStream Live extension, and we're going to have a video. Hello, it's Stephen. We're on the OneStream Live homepage in the Chrome browser. At the top of the Chrome browser, you will see the extension for OneStream Live Studio we added earlier. Now, if I click the extension, it then will show me host a live session and join with a link. Now, if we join with a link, we can join somebody else's broadcast. But if we press the host a live session button, then a new tab will open, and instead of having to go through the OneStream homepage, we're going directly into testing our camera and microphone within OneStream. That's it, one click, and we're in here, and we can select the camera and the microphone and go into the studio. It doesn't get any easier than that. So rather than going into OneStream, everything is set, and we can. So video is important. You can play video anytime during a broadcast and people remember it. I'm playing a video quite frequently now because I want people to remember it. We did an episode about broadcasting, in particular about jingles, and it's on YouTube. It's in the OneStream Live, on the OneStream Live YouTube channel. And I spoke to my friend Fons Chamberlain. Now, Fons that's his real name. It's on his birth certificate, and he's based in Cambridge. He and I met 5-6 years ago. He's a firm friend, but he is now the manager of a local radio station, which is terrestrial and on the internet as well. And this is the video that he sent me.
You're listening to Royston Radio, the station where community is our middle name.
Now, hopefully you remember, if I play it twice.
You're listening to Royston Radio, the station where community is our middle name. You're listening to Royston Radio, the station where community is our middle name.
I didn't mean to do that. Just give me a moment. Just a second. I didn't mean to do that. And I'm just going to make an adjustment and go here. Okay. You'll now remember Royston Radio. And I'm just going to make one slight adjustment. Just give me a second. That's better. Okay. Don't be afraid of making adjustments whilst you're live. If there's anything wrong with your set, do adjust it. And I've tapped a button I shouldn't have done there. But I think we're okay. Yes, we're good. Okay, so play videos during your broadcast. Make them germane to what you're actually broadcasting about, but do play videos. People might remember the video. And if you have an intro and outro, they'll remember those from your previous broadcast. You're trying to create a situation where people remember who you are and recall what your broadcasts are about. Yeah, memory is a strange thing. You can see something for 5 seconds and remember it for years. Yeah, you can watch something that's not memorable and just forget it after you've seen it. What you're trying to do is create memorable moments. Video helps you do that. Images help you do that. You remember a month ago, I showed you this image, and I'm going to bring it full screen. You will now remember that I'm just going to go here. I broadcast on the OneStream Live YouTube channel, and these are the topics I've talked about. That image, which was specially created, allows me to tell you what I do in one image and to know what I talk about. That image follows me around. Yeah, I take that image wherever I go and put it. If people say, what do you do? I put that on screen and say, I talk about things that will interest live broadcasters and podcasters. Simple as that. And that one image says it all. And it also shows that I broadcast about evergreen topics. Notice that I've mentioned evergreen 3 times. You're going to remember that I mentioned evergreen. What you're trying to do is get people to recall you, recall your broadcasts, recall the content, recall you. Remember, appear on all your promotional material. Okay, so let's go over here and go back to the agenda, which I'm going to bring back into the stream, and I'm going to put it full screen. Now, if you've got any questions about any aspect of the topic today, then please put them down below on the YouTube channel, and I'll come along today and tomorrow and I'll answer them. Okay, I'm here to help. I'm fortunate to be part of the OneStream Live. We're here to help, part of the team. So I do come back to the video. I give you the links that are needed. And if you put a question in whilst you're watching this video, then I'll answer it. Okay, so let's just bring this full screen. So in your live broadcasting, do make use of visuals. Videos, I've just played you 2 videos. Remember the Royston Radio video. Slides and graphics. Bring those into your live broadcasts. You've got the show card, you've got images, and just let me go here for a moment. I'm just going to check that I actually have an image with me, and I'm going to bring it down. And if I'm just looking, I'm looking for one. Okay. And I'm going to bring this on screen. So you can't see what I'm doing, but I can. And I'm going to go here and come back to me. And we're back to me. So what I've done is I've loaded an extra image because I want to show you this. Basically, people ask me what the studio looks like, and I'm able to do this. Okay, I can now show you my studio. Images are handy to have. If I just go full screen with that, this is my OneStream Live studio from a few weeks ago, and this is what I'm using to broadcast to you right now. And I can explain basically how the studio works. I can put a whole broadcast about the studio and it's on Udemy. It's on a training course on Udemy. But I can use an image to help me make a point, and people may remember the image. We have the ability to remember things, and images help to tell the story. They also are memorable. So if I was telling a story, we basically, we're members of the National Trust. The National Trust looks after properties throughout the UK, including Stonehenge. So basically, Angelica and I put our hiking boots on and we go walking to Stonehenge. And I shoot the video. Remember my mobile phone from earlier? I shoot the video on mobile phone. It goes on YouTube and people can watch it. That's basically our weekend, is to actually get out in the fresh air and get walking. And I can tell stories about it, but if I'm telling stories about Stonehenge, you want to see pictures of Stonehenge. You need to illustrate. Use pictures to illustrate your stories. Right. Let's go back to our agenda. and I'm going to go here and bring the agenda on screen. So do use visuals, videos, slides, and graphics. Okay, the next part is chunking and repetition. Right, if you're still watching, I'd like to say a big thank you. Chunking. I had to look this up. I did not know what chunking was. Basically, the idea, if you want to be memorable, is not to broadcast with a monologue, but broadcast with an agenda, which is what I do. Okay, so you can actually see what I'm going to be talking about. Breaking down a live broadcast into segments is breaking down a live broadcasting into chunks. And each chunk tells its own story. It's on a slightly different topic. Yeah. So chunks are important in being memorable. If I came on here and I just talked for 45 minutes without explaining what I was talking about, without pointing, that's why at the beginning of every broadcast, one of the first things that I do is to have the agenda on screen and go through the agenda step by step at the beginning of the broadcast. I'm going to cover all the points at the end of the broadcast, but at the beginning of the broadcast, so that people watching can decide whether they want to watch or not. And that's only fair. So I put all the topics on screen so that my viewers, and thank you for watching, can decide how much of the broadcast you're actually going to watch. So chunking is important. Keep it simple. There are occasions when you need to be complicated, but for the majority of live broadcasts, keep it simple. Don't get too involved. Don't spend too much time on a topic. What you can do is subtly repeat a topic. So you've got the original and you've got to repeat in the same broadcast. Because as I said earlier, the more you say something, the more you talk about Trivia Plaza for free quizzes, the more people remember. So do basically use chunks, keep it simple, have an agenda that people can follow. Chunking makes things memorable because you're actually giving people the chance. Okay, so to remember, and basically that's what it's all about. Is basically part of live broadcasting is to become known, liked, and trusted. And these techniques I'm talking about now will help you with that. Okay, now I've told you storytelling is number 6. Storytelling is important. It's an important part of live broadcasting. We are, as live broadcasters, storytellers. We either tell the story of a product, we tell the story of a service, we tell stories from our personal experiences, and sometimes get tongue-tied. Storytelling is live broadcasting. No matter the topic, you're actually telling stories and you're asking people to listen to your stories. And if they're in chunks, it's a lot easier. If I ask you to listen to a 45-minute story, then yeah. If I ask you to listen to a story which I'm going to tell, which take a couple of minutes, different approach. So storytelling, several stories in every live video you do. You don't need to be the only person to tell them. On OneStream Live, for example, I can have 10 people on screen. Not only can I tell my stories, but my guests can tell, or co-hosts can tell their stories too. So storytelling is the art of being remembered for something that you said. And remember, if you're telling a story, you can actually illustrate it with images. So use visuals, videos, slides, and graphs. Blogging. Blogging is a way to actually be remembered. Okay. Blogging, after this broadcast, I can create a blog post. I can embed this video in it, and then I can put text underneath. That text will cover anything I've missed. It will cover any additional information that's required. It might have explanations I've not given. So you've got a combination of the recording of this video and the text, which tells a fuller story. The thing is, you can then promote that blog post everywhere. And again, my content is evergreen. It's as relevant now as it was 3 months ago. So I can promote that blog for 3 months and bring extra views, extra life to every single video that I do. And people will remember. Remember that when I do a blog post, I'm going to put a picture on which has got the logo, it's got me, it's got the text. The video's got me, it's got the logo, it's got the text. People remember you. And that's important. That's what you're aiming for, recall, that people remember you and what you do. So next one. Blogging is important. You just need a blog site, and it's relatively inexpensive. Post your videos on there. You can embed them in a blog post. You can embed any video in a blog post. It's simple to do. If you've got questions, please ask. But give your video an extra life by including it in the blog post. Again, you're increasing your reach. You're increasing the chance for people to see and listen. And you're increasing your recall factor. That's something. I wonder what the recall factor is. I don't know. We'll find out. So back to the agenda. And basically, we're up to a strange one, I suppose. We talked a moment ago about chunks. And one of the ways to create chunks is mind maps. Mind maps allow you to put the topics you're going to be talking about into a mind map and show the visual on screen. Now, I create all my graphics in Canva, but I could equally well use a mind map. Mind maps help you tell stories. Mind maps are underrated for actually transmitting information. If I was talking about the Roman Empire and I was talking about the Caesars, by Antonius, everybody, then I could have a chart actually showing the Caesars of Italy, of Rome, I think. Okay, so remember, this is just basically to mix it up. Not everybody shows mind maps. You can show mind maps in your presentation. Number 9. Number 9 is repetition. And I've repeated things several times during this live broadcast. Repeat things in your live broadcasts. Don't be afraid to talk about something twice, at the beginning of the broadcast and the end of the broadcast, as a recap. Yeah? Because people are coming and going all the time. Yeah? In a live broadcast, it's all in chunks. So people can come and watch a couple of chunks and then go and move on to the next one. So repetition is your friend. Repetition leads to recall. Telling a story leads to recall. Everything we talked about leads to being remembered and recall. And the final topic that's on my agenda, you spend time going live. You spend time writing blog posts. The time live, people will watch you. People will watch the as well. We know more people watch the recording than they do the live because of the timing situation. Especially we're global 24/7. So I mean, I go out sometimes at 10 o'clock in the morning, which is 5 a.m. Eastern, to watch me live on the East Coast at 5 a.m. So we've got to be mindful of the fact that time. We spend an hour broadcasting, and that will be seen around the world. What happens the rest of the week? What happens to the people who watch our live broadcasts? How do you keep a connection with them? Well, quite simply, if you want to become known, liked, and trusted and well respected, open up a Facebook group which is tied in with your live broadcast and invite people who view your live broadcast to join. You could even make it public, it's up to you. But if you make it private, then invite people to join and they can ask you questions about your live broadcast. You can do a broadcast into the group, which will be for group members only, and you're actually getting closer to your viewers, and those viewers over time will become friends. So tie everything together with a Facebook group. You can announce your broadcasts, you can invite other people to announce their broadcasts, you can build a community which you start, and you'll be recognized as being the head of that community. Bring in people who are experts, get their broadcasting as well. Make it special. Make people feel special. If you want to be remembered, make the people who are watching you feel special. All right, so coming up, the summary, and I'm going to go here. And in a second, just let me take this. Yes, we're here. So I'm going to move this upwards. Just give me a second. And we're going to put this up here. Or are we? That's better. Okay, so we should get a switch in a moment. It's the end of the show, and just a moment. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hide this. Okay, and I'm going to add it to the stream. And I'm going to decide we're going to go side by side. Okay, so I got to where I want to be. The thing about live broadcasting, never ever panic. Always explain what you're doing. Take it step by step. Okay, so what we've been looking at today, if I go here, I'm going to persist. I'm going to go over here. Okay, and we swap places. And for the end of the show, so we know we're finishing, at the beginning, I did the introduction, which explained what a recall factor is. It's getting people to remember your live broadcast. Then we looked at ways to do that. We did branding is important. Remember, logo, everything with a logo on, everything with you on. The use of polls and quizzes for interaction during your broadcast. The use of visuals and videos during your broadcast.
You're listening to Royston Radio, the station where community is our middle name. You're listening to Royston Radio, the station where community is our middle name.
More than one, especially if it's only 30 seconds or less. So in telling your story, use visuals, video lines, and thinking. Right, I want to say thank you. What was just a minute? Thank you for watching live. And we're going to go off with chunking. Remember, have a logical sequence through your broadcast, break it into different chunks. Storytelling is what we all do on live video. Blogging, remember, give another like to your video, greater reach, and a greater chance for people to actually remember you. Use mind maps to to actually illustrate things. Repeat things frequently and often. And Facebook groups, get all your viewers into a Facebook group so that you can continue the conversation that started on the live video. And now is the time to tell you there is a OneStream Live Facebook group, which we invite you to join. You'll get help with OneStream Live. You'll meet me. You'll meet everybody who broadcasts for OneStream Live. You'll meet the team. There is a team, an amazing team behind this product, OneStream Live. And I'm just before we go, there's an app which goes on Android or iPhone. It is the OneStream Live mobile app, and it is exceptional in terms of quality of audio, quality of video, and the fact that from my mobile phone, I can broadcast up to 30 different destinations with the plan I've got. Mobile video using 4G, global broadcasting. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Take care. Bye for now.